This Camp Kennerk. Whoa. I'm TK Irish at Camp Kennerk. I get so excited when I do these podcasts. Of course, the situation is I had a little caffeine before I came on. So all of a sudden, my mouth works faster than my mind. But then, on the other hand, that's been going that way for quite a while. So just enjoy the ride, everybody out there in the galaxy, because we're going to have a great show tonight. And you just can't believe what Douglas and I have been working on. And today we're going to recognize a very special group of people called the double digit birthdays. Yes, that means that someone was born on January, February, March, whatever day, February 2nd is the one that we're working on now. So, who was born on February 2nd? How about the name Howard Johnson? Does that ring a bell to you? You've seen that name, you've seen the hotels, you've seen the restaurants all over the country. He was born February 2nd, and he built a great product, did a built name. So we got to give our hats off for him being a hospitality legend. Then Farrah Fawcett, the queen of the 70s and the 80s, the model, the actress that had every boy 10 years or older had a poster of her in her bedroom. And she was just the rock star of the swimsuit pictures. We also have Julie Fox, an actress, very talented, very talented. And then Ellie Bamber. She is an actress as well, and you need to check her out because she's got a great list of credits for all the type of work she's done in film and TV. So, Douglas, we have a lot of things to celebrate on that, and especially when you get to celebrate someone's life like Howard Johnson. So, but the real exit is the fact that Groundhog Day just passed. I don't mean passed like dying. I mean it's bigger than ever. But what really amazed me was that how many fake or faux Groundhog Days are there out there in the country now. I was looking around and there's one in Georgia and there's one in California. Everybody's getting in the act for whatever reason. So, but there's always only one that we know, except of the fact that there is a Groundhog Day event in Wyoming, in the Rocky Mountains of Lander, Wyoming, that brings out an elephant as the person or the thing that is going to cast the shadow, whether or not we have 6 more weeks of winter. Now, I'm told the reason why they use the elephant is it casts a larger shadow. So that way it won't create any arguments on a cloudy day, whether or not we saw the shadow or not. But we'll talk more about that later. And Douglas, how are you today? Things been pretty crazy over on your side of Austin, awesome, Austin.
DK, so good to see you again. Yes, it's awesome, Austin, Texas, and things are just great. And they're just more better talking to you on the Camp Kennerk Podcast, number 55. We've been at this. This is our 55th, and we've done 11 happy camper interviews, and we have more coming. So I'm very, very happy to be chatting with you on February the 4th, when in my heart is a special day, and we'll get into it. Now, you brought up the whole aspect of the double day, 2 February the 2nd, which we honor people who have birthdays and events on this day. And you mentioned Howard Johnson, of course, the restaurant owner who had a chain across the country. Are there any Howard Johnsons still open
A
anywhere?
little, I checked on that, and they're a little bit here and there, but they're far between, far from what they were back in the day when every highway, every freeway, if you're going to Chicago to New York or LA to San Francisco, they dotted the countryside everywhere. And so, not all, business is business. They have their cycles, but I always remember the orange roof. Every time you saw an orange roof in the horizon, you're going, Howard Johnson. And if I remember correctly, they were famous for the pecan log candy.
Oh,
And
okay. All right. Didn't they do something, many flavors of ice cream do too? Didn't they do something like that?
I think they did that. They changed it up over time, but yeah, they had ice cream, and then Baskin Robbins came in and took that away from them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but they rotated with the times. But times change to the point where companies can't change with them or don't want to change with them.
Right.
So it's just a memory that we have, and some of our other people out there in the galaxy remember. And hey, who knows? With the world of retro marketing, someone could bring that name back. Who knows?
And I would be the first customer to line up to Hojo's to get some ice cream and just go to Hojo's. I really would. I really would. And in fact, I have some neighbors up in New York City. His name is Howard, and her name is Jocelyn, and we call them Hojos. Now, that was very interesting. You listing the birthdays and bringing up that sweetie Farrah Fawcett. I was one of the people who had a poster on my wall. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Farrah Fawcett. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. But also like to bring up the fact that in 1895, George Hollis was born. And George Hollis was the one of the original owners, beginning owners of the Chicago Bears, and owners and legendary coach
He
for.
was. He was the founder of the NFL,
Yes,
founding fathers, and he was the coach for the Chicago Bears until he's in his late 70s, I'm sure. And
I'm
even
sure
to,
he's still coaching, or his spirit is there.
well, his spirit's there. I guarantee you that because on all the players' jerseys, they have his initials, even after all these years.
GSH, I believe there is.
Yeah, George
Yeah, George
Hallis.
Bell. Now, he was born in 1895 on February 2nd. And in 1937, Tommy Smothers, of the Smothers group, the Smothers brothers, Tommy Smothers.
Yeah, because his mother loved him more than he loved his brother.
I could never keep them apart. But what was interesting, because they were a comic duo, and I like studying comic duos and how they get together, and maybe we could join the legendary status of Laurel and Hardy, Abbott and Costello, the Smothers brothers. DTN and TK Irish someday, we'll get up there. We're certainly striving and trying, but it was interesting the fact that Tommy Smothers was kind of the brains of the operation, and but he played the dummy. He played the slower guy.
Yeah.
He played the fool. And the other, what was the other brother's name? Tom and Don.
I draw a blank because I always just knew him as the Smothers Brothers, and
Yeah, the Smothers Brothers, and the other one starred in what was it? The casino thing with
yeah, the movie Casino.
Robert De Niro.
Yeah. So, but
Yeah, yeah, he
they
starred in that.
became
So he,
during their height of fame, they had their own TV show on CBS. And it was during the height of the Vietnam conflict, and they became very political in their music and their comedy to say, "Hey,
right.
we don't like this, what's going on," and the censors got involved, and they said, "Well, we don't want, we have free speech," and well, the CBS honcho said, "Well, we have the paycheck," so they parted ways. They
Now
took them
we
off the
have the
show.
paycheck. Real simple.
Yeah,
Real
yeah,
simple. Now, in 1942, Graham Nash was born. Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. So there you go,
yes.
1942. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of interesting to know that fact and the facts that you brought up. And now I've got some other events that happened on February the 2nd that I think you might enjoy, and I'll wait till the last one so it hits you in your heart. In 1974, Barbara Streisand released the song The Way We Were.
Yes, that was the theme song of the movie with Robert Redford. Big hit.
Yes,
Won
we were.
several Academy Awards. Real
Yes,
tearjerker. You know,
it's a real turd jerker, the way we were. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. And then in 1994, Bruce Springsteen released Streets of Philadelphia.
yes, great
If
song.
you're in that range or the age range, but so very, very interesting aspects of it. Now, the last one that I found, it affects you and your heart, is that in 1922, okay, James Joyce, the famous Irish writer,
Yes,
okay, he released or published his book, Ulysses.
yes, yes, a must reading because the way his prose are put together, he's able to spin uh, a story to the way when you read each word, you want the next word, you want the next word, which is obviously the secret of a great read. And obviously, he has been so good at it that they're still reading him in academia. Schools read him in the classroom because of the message in the way he writes. So yes, very very impressive.
Yes, and you can see that here's my little tag right here. I'm into it. I'm reading. So far, I'm having a little trouble understanding the dialect, but I am working through it. But he has no regard for capitalization, periods, or paragraphs. He just writes. So I think it's somehow stream of consciousness or Irish consciousness. So I think you have to enjoy a Guinness beer while you're reading this.
Well, see, here's his method to his madness. He never wanted to tell you, the reader, when you should stop and pause and then pick it up again because he doesn't know. Because his theory was if I have a comma or a period to end a sentence, or is that I might interrupt your sip of Guinness while you're reading. So he didn't want to make your mind up for you.
TK, that is really, really good. Now, that is February the 2nd, Doubleday, and all these people had their birthdays. So it's a beautiful, beautiful time. But today is February 4th. And in my heart, it's a special day, but I would like to uh, talk to you about something else. I made a mistake here. I rushed forward. We forgot to bring up some points concerning Groundhog Day on February 2nd. Okay. Now, I did some research for you concerning Groundhog Day. It is goes back many, many years. In Germany, it was a badger. In other countries, it was a bear, and that sort of stuff. And now there's a hint of an elephant in Wyoming. I think we've got a video coming here soon. You know,
Yeah.
but I found something that would a, a little something for you that in Ireland, St. Bridget Day is February 1st. Okay.
Okay. All
And
right.
that is considered the first day of spring. Now, February 2nd is Hedge or is Groundhog Day. So they've been combined in Ireland
Yeah,
as St. Bridget
as
Day.
as a kid growing up, I remember hearing that, and the way it was explained to me as a child, St. Bridget's birthday was the first, and they partied so hard that on the second, when they woke up and they saw a groundhog underneath the cottage, and it came out to get some sunlight and it cast a shadow, everybody goes, "Oh my gosh, 6 more weeks. Oh my gosh." And so it just sort of transcribed St. Bridget to the Groundhog Day, and the legend started there.
And then the first day of spring. So that's where it is. Now in the United States, now this is a story that you and I will really, really love. Okay, so in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. Okay, real mouthful right there. Okay. The Elks, the Moose, and the Lions clubs, Elks, Moose, but they're clubs, men's clubs. One of them decided to have a little bit of fun. Let's have a little bit of fun. I'm sure that there was some liquid refreshments involved, and they came up with this theory or magnified some old theories, and they came up with Punxsutawney Phil, the groundhog that comes out of the hill. And it was official, and they'd been doing it for a while, but they've been doing it as a prank. And it wasn't until 1887 that the groundhog was officially named Punxsutawney Phil, and it was named by a man named Clymer Freeze. This is a great name. This is a great name. Clymer Freeze, Freas. And he was the editor of the newspaper, the Punxsutawney Spirit. So he wrote about it. And then from then, the legend came on. That's kind of the history of it. And I'm just loving this sort of thing. That this is the type of thing where it kind of officially, from tradition, became a little bit of a prank, which leads me into something you're going to tell us about. Is the elephants in Wyoming on Groundhog
Yeah,
Day?
yeah. But first of all, we had to recall the movie Groundhog Day that
Yes,
Bill Murray starred in, and the fact
yes.
that every day was he had a little emotional issue, you might want to say. And it's a great movie to remind you by, when they say it's just another Groundhog Day, it's gives you the whole new meaning. But yes, I have this video from our mountain man, Steve, my brother, who was a happy camper interview not long ago. And
Great interview. Great interview.
yeah, yeah. Well, he's got a lot of things going on. It's strange out there in the mountain world because first of all, you have the altitude. You're up there with lack of oxygen, and that
Which gives
plays.
you an attitude.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So he sent me this video to explain to him about why they were looking for this elephant because that's their mascot for Groundhog Day. So check this out.
Okay, Doug, this is for you. Locally, a small circus was stranded here because of snowstorms, and their elephant got away, so I'm stalking it. I've been watching this thing for hours. Hope I can get a good shot for you. So I'm down here and been traveling for hours, so I hope to find some sign. Oh, there's some. Here. Look at this. They're right there. Right there. That's elephant skin. They've been shedding. Here's another one right here. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Now, it's not here, but I think it'll come back. So I'm going to set a bait and draw them to us and set up a night camera. So what I'm going to use, now Doug, what would you use to bait an elephant in? I know you'd say peanuts, but this is a circus elephant. So we're going to use good old-fashioned, top-grade circus peanuts with popcorn. Who's your trick? We're going to string this out here and plant it all over, and then I'm going to set the camera, and it'll take a couple days for me to get back with it. But Doug, this is for you. Bye.
So it doesn't get much better than that, does it?
No. So what is the name of this Wyoming elephant?
Well, he didn't tell me that because, as you saw in the video, he escaped and the circus moved on. And
Right.
so
Can we name it? Can we name it? Can Camp Kennerk name it?
sure.
How about Wyoming Willie?
There we go. Well, we'll run past, we'll take that past Steve and see what his feelings are. But yeah, it's very interesting because, he's he's got a story to tell, and he does such a good job of it. So I hope you enjoyed it.
Oh, that was very, very funny. Excuse me, very, very funny. Oops, I need a sip of my Dr. Pepper here.
Yeah, I get so excited when I talk about lost elephants.
Wyoming Willie, I love it. I love it. Why elephant up in Wyoming? Okay, now moving forward here, we discussed Groundhog Day and the people who celebrate February 2nd. Well, you know that I like to look at stats. And so, about a month ago, I was showing you my stock market stats for Austin Boomtown Stock Index.
Yes.
And to explain again, here in Austin, it's a boomtown. Okay. And there are 7 companies that are based here in Austin that are traded on the New York Stock Exchange. Okay, so their stock index about a year and a half ago, yeah, something like a year and a half ago, and it's an index of the 7 companies. Now, the first one is Cirrus Logic, Dell Computers that you're familiar with, Digital Realty, I'm sorry, Oracle, you've heard of Oracle, they're based here. Silicon Labs, Tesla, everybody's got a Tesla, they're based here, and Yeti, the container company. Those 7 companies are based here in Austin. You add the stock prices up on the first of each month, and that gives you an index to show increase or decrease. So I did this on February 2nd, and since the first of the year, the index is down 2%. Now, that's not life-changing, but that just gives you an idea of it's down 2% on the first.
Now, have you taken this information to the Federal Reserve to get their input to see if this calculation runs the same way that they run everything else?
Well, I'm waiting for them to call me.
Good idea. You don't want to.
They need help. They need help.
Yeah.
They need help. And, when I can reach out to them through this podcast, but they can call me. I'm here.
Yes. As you know,
because the beauty of contact, the beauty of contacting us, direct line.
Yeah, we won't put you on hold.
You got to go through. Yeah, no AI at all. Hello?
Yeah, exactly. What do you want? I can't hear you. Speak up.
Wait.
Hey, Sean,
and if you're
turn the music down. We got somebody on the phone.
If you say with the Federal Reserve, we're going to say, TK, is that you again? But anyway, Austin Boomtown Stock Index, thing I'm going to be doing every month. I've done it for a while now, and I kind of enjoy just looking at the numbers because I'm a numbers guy. Okay, that's all. That's all. Okay. So put that aside. Now, I wanted to talk about another book. This is a book that I finished reading, okay? It's called The Time Traveler's Guide to Elizabethan England. All right. Now, I am interested in Roman history about the time of the Caesars and the Tudor period of England. Okay. Now, the Tudors were a family in England from 1485 to 1603. Okay, now they were the royalty was Henry VII, Henry VIII, Edward VI, Mary, and then Elizabeth. They were the Tudor family who ruled England. Now, the reason I got into that period was Shakespeare did some of his greatest work in that period, and it was the start of what we know as Middle English, and which evolved into modern day English in England. Now, this book I really enjoyed because it wasn't just about royalty and the kings and queens and the castles. It was about the everyday life. So shoemakers, where did they get their leather? Where did it come from? The spice people, where did they get it to? How they built along the Thames, Thames River, where they got some of the building material, how they built the bridges across the river, and how that people lived, how they heat their homes, what they do with fire, what they do with their sewer, their waste, and that sort of stuff, and how London at some point had maybe 200,000 people in it and was considered one of the largest towns in Europe. That sort of stuff. And he talks about the dirty streets. He talks about entertainment, music, how you traveled from town to town and what inns you might stay at, and the prevalence of beer because they didn't trust their water. So they created beer, and their gruel or soup that they had. All the deer belonged to the king, so you couldn't hunt deer. So it was a lot of pork and chicken and that sort of stuff. And of course, the roads weren't paved, so it was no lights at night. So it was a book about the Tudor period of England that interests me. And I'm very happy that I have now finished it. And where did I get it? From one of those neighborhood little libraries in front of people's houses. So the library system in front of our neighborhood houses, neighbors, works. And tomorrow I'll take it back to the neighbor and just put it back in the box. So it works.
Yes, I see that around town where people will just, have a little stand and, I see people take one or maybe they'll just drop two or three off because, they've done reading them. They want to share because we know you have to share knowledge for people to grow. But when you were talking about how they survived back then with the lack of water and sewage and everything, it sort of made me homesick because that's sort of the way I grew up. But that's beside the point. I am just glad my relatives don't watch this show because they would go, "Oh, that's Tom. He's got so much learning. If BS with music, he'd be Billy Joel." But what can you say? I gotta say what I say.
It's beautiful, beautiful. Now, I think that what's coming here, we should help our listeners and viewers around the galaxy lesson to help them through for St. Valentine's Day.
Oh,
okay.
Yes.
Now, this is the 4th, and Valentine's Day would be actually in 10 days.
Okay. Yes, the 14th, the day of love.
So for our male members, that's interesting, around the galaxy, we wish to help them. So you have to prep and have a Camp Kennerk St. Valentine's Day verbal lessons to help you through this crisis moment. It could either be an atomic explosion or it can be a beautiful sunshine and rainbows. Could be beautiful.
Very well put, Douglas, because you really do have to put a little thought on how to make sure that Valentine's Day is special for everyone.
Okay, and now the key thing for most men is it is a time that you have to listen. Just listen. You have to listen. Okay, just listen. You got to listen. Okay. You've been talking for 360 days for those 5 days, especially that day. Yes, dear. Yes. Oh, yeah.
And I read a scientific report and put out that ideally you got to shake your head yes every 3.5 seconds to make sure the impact is made.
Right. And to remember to look them between the eyes. If you look them in the eyes and you daze off thinking about baseball lineups or the Super Bowl or something like that. So you got to remember to look them here because just look them there. Yeah. Who's on first? And that was Matt.
Yeah.
Catch.
See, if you're real techno, you could get one of those little earbuds and stick it in your ear and listen to the game while she's talking. And but you have to make sure you don't get too excited when the buzzer beaters hit, and because you could be there going,
Yeah,
uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Oh, geez, he was scoring.
Yes, yes. So, but to help our listeners around the galaxy, we wish to give you some key words that will help you get through this weekend. And since Valentine's Day is on a Saturday, it's going to cost you a ton. Okay, it's going to cost you a ton. First off, it's going to be chocolates. It's going to be chocolates and it's going to be flowers. And then you got to get her a little something sentimental. So it can't be like an iron or a spatula. It's got to be something for her. Now, here's the problem. Jewelry is going to cost you a ton, but you'll never see it again. The only other time you'll see it is 5 years from now. It's in her jewelry box and it's all bundled up in a bunch of piles. You'll never see it. And whenever you ask her, "Hey, where's that cute little brooch I gave you?" You said, "Oh, well, it doesn't go with this outfit," or something like that. But you see, here's some things some words to live by. Okay. French restaurant.
Okay.
Repeat. French restaurant. Darling, we're going out tonight for Valentine's Day to a French restaurant. Say it. Repeat.
French restaurant.
Yes. Okay. That's good. Now, she's going to order salad and something small that's expensive. But here, let me help you. Okay. Steak au poivre. That is a French delicacy. It is steak, so you're going out to a restaurant. She's going to order her salads and say, "I'm on a diet."
No, she's not.
So, okay, steak au poivre.
Steak au poivre.
Yes, and basically what it is, pepper steak, but you can't say to the waiter, "Antoine, I want me a steak pepper steak." You got pepper steak, it's steak au poivre. Okay.
So how would you pronounce chicken fried steak in a restaurant of that nature?
Coq de vin de vino, I think. Coq de vin is chicken, white wine, Chablis, Coq de vin Chablis, I think something like that. But I'm working on that. Okay. So also, on those nights it'll kill you to say champagne. Champagne. It's not champagne. It's not. It's champagne. It'll kill you. But here is a trick for you. Okay. Sincere. Remember sincere? Sincere. Sincere. It's a French white wine. It's rather tasty. You might enjoy it, but it's not going to cost you a bundle.
All right.
Okay, say it. Sincere. Yes,
Sincere. Well, Douglas, I really appreciate all this knowledge to prepare for this. But see, I got to get a date first. I really don't want to say on the first, hey, let's go out the 14th, for a first date because, it's fool's gold. That's fool's gold.
Fool's gold. Okay, a couple more words here, and then we'll be finished of practicing your love language or your St. Valentine's Day. Camp Kennerk hints to make it through St. Valentine's Day. Okay. All right. The next one is snails. The French love snails. We see them on the garden all the time. We step on them. Oh, snails. Well, the French fry them up in garlic and olive oil and something, and they call it escargot. Escargot. But when you read it, it's escargot.
Escargot.
Escargot. Escargot. Not escargot.
Yeah.
No, escargot. Okay. Now, practice out. Escargot.
Escargot.
Escargot. Yes. Now, the key words candlelight French restaurant, you're going to get killed in the wallet when the bill comes, and it's going to be the writing is so small you can't see it. You just plop down your credit card and add 20%, say merci to Antoine the waiter. Okay, but then you're going to look across the table as you share a creme brulee.
Creme brulee.
No, creme, creme
Creme
brulee, not
brulee.
creamy brulee, not creamy brulee, creme brulee.
I'm going to have to work on that one the next couple of days because
Yeah,
that is a tongue test.
yeah, okay. Think of a crawfish broil, brulee, creme
Okay.
brulee.
I
Which is
see.
kind of cool because it's a little custard pudding they bring out, and they bring out a blowtorch and fire it on up. So you're just thinking, oh, this is cool. In a French restaurant, with a blowtorch.
I
Yes.
would probably say something, Antoine, I got a leaking pipe underneath my sink. Can you use that and come over and fix it?
Or just make everyone in the restaurant ill, pull out a cigar and said, could you light this place? You light this place? Ah, yeah, creme brulee. Creme brulee. Okay. And the final thing to tap out the evening, okay, and just to surprise her, she will love you for this golden moment, is je aime.
Je
Je,
aime.
yeah, just aime. Yeah. I love you. I love
Oh,
je aime.
oh, gosh, yes.
I mean, just say, it's okay. And it's not a car. J'aime aimer. J'aime amore. I'm sorry. Erase that. It's je amore. Je amore. Now, it's not a car or anything. Amore. It's not a car. Je amore. J'aime me is like you're my friend. You're my friend. J'aime more. I love you. J'aime, je
Je,
amore.
je,
Say it.
je mourrai. I'll have to work on that
Yeah,
too.
that'll do.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It loses a little bit with a thick Texas accent, but the effort she will love. She will love. Okay.
well,
Say,
now,
practice those words.
Douglas, I'm very impressed with your knowledge on all this. So I'm afraid to ask how you learned all this. So we'll just have to talk about that later when we get closer to Valentine's Day.
Well, it's real simple. I grew up in Canada and I had to take some French lessons. I had to take some, failed it miserably, and I took some French in high school, failed it miserably. When it comes to Spanish, it's cerveza, tacos, and baños, bathroom. That's
Yeah.
it. And in France, it's vino, pan, which is bread, and Bon du Soleil or something like the bathroom. I can't remember what it is, So, I can't remember what it is. So I just don't speak Spanish or French. I don't have a language thing. I can speak Texan real well. That's
Yeah, you're fluent in that. There's no doubt about that.
yes. Okay, now TK, I brought up a couple of things for you on St. Patrick's Day, which is part of the Irish St. Bridget's Day, and I brought up James Joyce's Ulysses that was published on this February the 2nd. So those touched your hearts. Now I would like to bring up something that touches my heart, and it's deeply touches my heart deeply. Today is my dad's 102nd birthday.
Wow. You have a cake for that?
Well, he passed away in 1994. He passed away many
years ago. Yes.
Yes, as my father. And he was in the Canadian military, and his name was Doug also. He retired as a Major R.D. Goland. He was in the Canadian military. He served in World War II. He served in Japan, Korea, Vietnam, and then he served in the United States as a diplomatic liaison officer out in El Paso. So that's how my life started because of my dad, service to the Canadian Armed Forces. And he was brought to the United States in El Paso. I finished high school, college, came to Dallas, met you in New York City and Austin. But today is my father's 102nd birthday. And I'm very proud of his service. I have some of his service records during World War II. He was a sergeant in World War II at age 19.
Wow.
At age 19. So when you and I were 19 years old and wondering what we could do with something south of the border, drinking beer and looking at girls, he's fighting for his country in Europe. And this is his dog tags. These are his dog tags right here.
So he was with the Canadian Army.
Yes, the Canadian services that fought in Europe. Okay, so this is his dog tags, and this is hang on just a second. Hopefully you can see it. This is a framed picture of all of his medals. It's going to be
hardware. He's got some hardware there, Douglas. This is
He's definitely got some hardware here for his services around the country, services in the Canadian military. So yes, he's got some hardware and it's framed. And I have his dog tags. And he was mentioned in a couple of books that I have, some of his service records and things. So today is my dad's 102nd birthday.
Well, God bless him.
Yes, God bless him. TK, so in my heart, remembering my dad, in your heart, St. Bridget's Day for Groundhog Day, first day of spring, and Ulysses, the published book by James Joyce concerning Dublin, in your heart. So it's a beautiful, beautiful time. It's always great talking to you. That's what I got for you today. Go Cowboys.
Aaron, go Brawl.